Scarpins Avenue.
Hey guys, Sklar Brothers here. This is another edition of the Sklar Bro Country, the virus edition, aka the Pandy Pods, aka the Basement Takes, although we're not in the basement.
No, two guys, one couch.
Still applies.
Still in effect.
Still in effect.
We're on a very stylish couch.
We're at my wife's office. She's the only one who comes here and has really not been here at all. This is where we've been doing this is where I did David Spade's show when I did Lights Out. This is where we've been doing the Friday night JFL. We're doing another one of those just for Last Montreal Comedy Festival.
This Friday,
tune in 2 days. Not tomorrow.
It's going to be on YouTube.
It's going to be on their YouTube page, the Just for Laughs, and I believe we've got
Sklarantine. It's the
Sklarantine Comedy Hour. Baron Vaughn, Amy Miller. Trying to think who else is in.
A Canadian comedian.
Yeah, Canadian comedian, and then we're looking for one more. So we're putting that lineup together. You definitely want to check that out and see it live as we do it. And this is this pod. We try and take information and stuff that's happening every day and give you our take on it, so that
give you a little bit of time away from the news, away from the peaking death tolls, and away from all of the things that frustrate you and scare you about what's going on in this world.
Yeah.
We are here to distract and entertain for a brief period and make your day a little bit better.
Because we all need that. We got plenty of time to go through the other stuff, but we all need that breath. And so we, as well, will give you recommendations. We're going to start off with one right now. Jay, go ahead.
I watched the documentary on Norman Lear.
Yeah.
Who always has been a hero and someone we...
Was it called King Lear?
No, it was not. Although it could have been.
Tiger King Lear?
No, not Tiger King
Probably
Lear.
would have gotten a little bit more if Norman Lear had a mullet.
Norman Lear doesn't have much hair.
Bald and then a frosted mullet down below.
He kind of has hair on the side.
A little bit.
He's more like Jeff Lowe.
It's like Jeff Lowe, Larry David.
Yeah, he has a little bit of that. But Norman Lear was he's such an amazing dude.
Yeah.
And he is like the most sharp. Randy and I got to meet Mel Brooks.
And Carl Reiner.
And Carl Reiner.
Remember we met Carl Reiner at Chelsea Lately?
Oh, yeah, that's right. We met Carl Reiner at Chelsea Lately. And we
Mel
met
Brooks.
Mel Brooks in Denver when he was doing a
show the weekend that we were there.
A screening of Blazing Saddles and then a Q&A afterwards. And then we got to meet him backstage.
Unbelievable.
Those guys, those three guys at 93
are insane.
First of all, they're so funny still.
So sharp.
They're so with it. And I'm like, comedy keeps you young.
It does.
Thank God we have comedy on our side.
The chasing of the bit. The chasing of what's funny or wanting to perform the bit. Mel Brooks, we saw it with him. He was amazing.
And that forces your brain to work. Mm-hmm. And that forces your brain to stay healthy and stay open.
Yeah.
You're not just sitting on some computer playing solitaire, just watching.
Oh, I'm going to do
Jerry
that
Springer.
too. Yeah.
But if you're thinking of bits around that, then your brain stays young and you get it. And these guys all have this great energy and they stay young. And Norman Lear's life was incredible. And I went back and I sort of went through the shows that he made. First of all, All in the Family.
Never heard of it.
I think it's All in the Family.
Is it?
The way they describe that show and Carol O'Connor being this like liberal Irish Catholic but super liberal guy, like how hard it was for him to play that character him and how
that's true
he
acting.
Battled on the scripts and like they had to deal with so much stuff.
I bet they had to walk a very fine line to where you're showing what a buffoon he is and he gets his comeuppance.
And you have to make him on some level lovable and sad. I mean, that's what he was saying, is that he's a tragic character.
Yeah.
And so, but I mean, just the fact that it was so raw and so real and the dialogue between each other, like that dialogue doesn't exist on TV anymore.
I went back and watched.
Amazing.
I know. I went back and started watching. I watched John Travolta's screen test for Welcome Back, Kotter. And he was basically strung together because we've done tests and stuff before, like strung together a handful of scenes on the set of the thing. He was so good. I was like, hire this guy right now. You hire him right now. I don't care who's coming in besides him. You hire this kid right now. He was unbelievable. And I started watching a little bit of it with my daughter and just on clips of it on YouTube. And I was like, God damn, he was so funny. The reason he was so funny on that show, I'm like, that show's too broad, is that, first of all, Gabe Kaplan, hilarious.
Amazing on that show.
Hilarious.
Amazing.
calm. He was himself when he told jokes to his wife. They created a great setup for him to be able to do his stand-up essentially to the class and to his wife every night. He would tell jokes the way he did in his stand-up. It was a perfect application of who he was on a stand-up stage into this thing. And then I forgot how dumb Barbarino was and how funny that is, how dumb he is. Yeah. Like his stupidity, like he was a precursor of like Joey on Friends.
Yes.
He was so dumb.
Good looking and dumb.
Dumb and confident was just hysterical.
So what I found in the Norman Lear thing to be interesting, and that's sort of what you were talking about revisiting these old shows, was that they showed some behind the scenes stuff, rehearsals for Good Times.
Oh yeah.
And what was interesting was how much like Esther Roll hated
Jimmy
Walker and hated him just saying dynamite and it getting a laugh. And like she
was like a old school, probably theater actress.
And she's like, this is a joke. She's like, this should be a show about issues. And it was in some ways. And when Russell Simmons came on and was like, Good Times was a show for white people. So that white people, it was all the writers were white. So that's when you realize, well, that's insane.
That's terrible.
So they were probably getting a lot of notes and thoughts from their actors who were all black.
Right.
But all the writers were white. And Norman Lear was like, we can't do this. Like, basically, someone came to him and was like, this isn't a show. This is a show for white people, even though it's about black people and you think it's about. And for years, Randy and I were like, why were we able to so easily to connect with a show about these people? Well, it was written for white people. He said the show that was for black people was the Jeffersons. And that was what was created again by Norman Lear in light of why they were having so much trouble with Good Times. And it was like, that one was about issues. That one was about, they showed a scene in this documentary, which is well worth watching. I'm not going to give any more away.
Right.
But they showed a scene where a black woman came to their house and said, oh, that's so cool that they got a couple together here. The Jeffersons got a couple here. And they're like, what are you talking about? And they're like, that you guys both work for the Jeffersons. That's so great that they got, you guys are a couple, but you both, a butler and a maid, both work for the Jeffersons. Like, we are the Jeffersons. And like, that was the show in a nutshell. And it was so, people talking about how that taught them how to walk.
I mean, at least the opening up of the dialogue, you got to give him credit for just opening it up and willing to take a chance on TV in the 70s.
Sherman Hemsley was
amazing,
just off the charts.
Dynamite.
Was so good.
He was dynamite.
He was dynamite.
All right,
so that's number one. Let's get into what's been happening, and this is less of sort of like a crazy story of something that happened, but this is something that I read.
Sparks discussion.
Dr. Fauci. Is it Fauci?
Yeah.
Fauci. This is how little I want to listen to it.
Fauci. He actually is a guy who's
he seems like a guy
I like Fauci. I actually like Fauci. He seems to be shoveling shit against the tide, this guy.
And it seems like everyone can rally around liking this guy.
Except for the people in his own administration. Right. But whatever.
So he came out with a statement saying that he doesn't think that the handshake is going to survive this virus.
We won't ever shake each other's hands ever
I said
again.
We're going to become a nation of Howie Mandels, which is insane because he's Canadian.
Right.
But the thought of that being gone from our, like, I think about how many times we shake people's hands and say, thank you so much for coming to our show.
After shows and stuff, the merch line will
meeting people in the street. They want to shake your hand. They want to come. They want to do it. It's like a special thing. And it's
going to be
moment.
Sorry, I can't. Or a emotional, like I want, like you have to make a gesture. Either you tap your heart, you point up to
God if you believe in that. I mean, the hip hop hug is dead. So white people, you can no longer co-opt the hip hop.
Maybe this is what needed to get white people to stop doing the hip hop hug. This is it.
So elbows might
work. You might be able to pound fists, although I wouldn't
think so. I think saluting is going to start coming back.
The army's going to get pissed because people are going to be doing that.
Finger points, double point,
a little bit of
this,
a
little like this, a little
tomahawk chop,
tomahawk chop.
Oh, that's terrible, racially insensitive.
Tomahawk chop. This, like, I don't know what this is slap, like cheerleading. The cheerleading
chest bump. Navarro College cheer.
The wave, high wave is always going to be replaced the high
and
five.
I think it's going to come back to our chagrin, the Heil Hitler, and that's a bummer.
If Heil Hitler comes back,
that's a bummer.
If we can take it back, like if that's the way Jews Like that's for
Yeah, Jews are just like, hey guys, what's up?
yo, how you doing?
Walking into synagogue. How you guys doing?
Hey.
We're
taking
take that
it back.
It's ours now.
We're
You don't
taking an
get
arm
it.
extended
You don't
back.
get it, Nazis. You don't get it, white supremacists.
Flat wave is ours now.
See ya.
Nice try, bitch.
We took it back.
We got it. You're going
That's
to be
true.
confused because we're doing this. That's how Jews should. To me, if that comes out of this, then I think it's a net gain on the handshake front.
In a couple of months when we come up with
We'll
it.
find out. We will see. But to me, I couldn't stop thinking about.
It's a good.
All in all, I couldn't think. Well, what is going to replace?
The
What
other
in the
thing.
world is going to replace the wave?
I want to get into this story.
Let's
okay?
do a story and then we'll take a break.
All right.
And we have a wonderful voicemail from some friends.
Yes. So another person that can be part of, because we keep adding to the list of people, the 250K, which that's probably growing at this point, gone.
We sad thing is people will die. We would like to be able to choose who goes. Okay?
I'm going to choose this guy, the guy who licked the bank door because of the adjusted hours. Now that's 250K in America. So
that guy, this guy, I read this story about a guy who licks a bank door not because they refused a loan to him, not because they
treated
showed
him
up and they treated him with disrespect and wouldn't let him open an account.
because they changed the hours of the bank to adjust for senior citizens to be able to bank there at a time where they're not going to be exposed to that many people and probably at 5 in the morning.
They changed the hours.
And it closed before he could do what he was wanting to do.
Where
But
else you got to be, dummy?
do it tomorrow, you idiot.
And you're gonna lick a door. You're gonna put people at risk.
Also, get mobile banking, you stupid idiot. You're gone. Out of here. You're part of the
We don't
200
need you. We
Even
don't-
though I think this happened in Canada, we don't need you.
We don't need you. Get out.
Anybody that has licked anything that isn't their toothbrush or a spoon
On
or a piece
purpose
of silverware,
as an act of aggression or retaliation,
You're gone.
There's something wrong inside of you.
We don't need you.
You're a defective model. Like when something comes out in this world and you're like, that
it
can't be
just
fixed.
doesn't work. It can't be fixed.
That can't be fixed, and
Let's
it's
toss it.
damaging other things.
Maybe we can recycle it.
Let's see. If you believe in reincarnation, throw it on the recycling heap and see if we can turn it into something positive.
So the TD Canada Trust branch, too many words in the bank. TD Canada,
Canada
Trust
Trust.
is one of those is the first T Trust?
It's like Ruth's Chris Steakhouse.
It's too many.
Does
Too many
Ruth own
possessive
Chris?
apostrophe S's.
Does Ruth own the steakhouse?
We have
or
a big
does-
issue with that.
Is it Chris's steakhouse and Ruth owns Chris?
Yeah, Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, and I think that's what it is.
Well, to
but
me-
there's not.
But shouldn't Chris? So if it was originally Chris's steakhouse,
I would call it Chris's Steakhouse, now owned by Ruth.
or
That makes
Ruth's-
sense.
or it should be Ruth's Chris's Steakhouse,
No,
unless her last name is
they
Chris.
think that you think that Chris Steakhouse is just a general term that everybody knows.
Yeah, you know Chris Steakhouse.
Let's go to that steakhouse. Which one? The Chris Steakhouse? Sure. Well, it's Ruth's now.
Well, to me, it's a Chris Steakhouse because when they grill them, they do a
Crisscross. So it's that.
grill
That's what it
marks
was?
on it, and that's what makes it a Chris Steakhouse.
TD Canada Trust branch. Too many names.
Who died? Was it Chris or Cross?
It was Cross.
Are you
I
sure?
don't know. I don't know.
Look it up.
Just trying to make the hours easier for senior citizens who basically only own flip phones. So you should be getting mobile banking.
And those are the only people who are actually in a bank.
Yeah. This guy was shut out, so he screamed obscenities.
That's
That
always a good
worked.
start.
Well, like you start cursing at the bank, they're gonna be like, "Oh, well, come on in. Hold on a second."
There's a guy. Bless you. Oh, there's a man yelling out front. He's screaming obscenities.
Let him in. Let him in.
Yeah, let's get him in where the
He
money
needs
is.
to come in around the money and the tellers and
Oh,
stuff.
we didn't realize it was going to make you mad.
I'm sorry.
Oh, since you're upset, we'll change
Sorry
the
we
rules.
ruined your day.
We'll
Why don't
change
you?
the rules for you.
And the more you're yelling, the more we're realizing that we made a mistake.
Yeah, it's
Open the door.
Our
let him in.
bad. Our bad, sir.
With the Canadian accent, though. The
Oh, Christ. For God, dog.
just Jesus Christ on
Brandon.
Connor McDavid's name. Holy moose license with an L.
Oh, Mark Messier.
Oh,
Damn it.
God damn it. Yari
Jesus.
Curry. For Christ on Yari Curry's name and Grant Fuhrer and the whole group.
Talk it all to hell.
God Don Cherry, damn it. Anyway, he licked the door.
That actually felt good.
The
just
door.
yelling this out.
It's like when a team loses a national championship in sports and then
I
lose and then they trash their own city. Like,
I
why?
don't understand that.
I don't understand when they win and trash. They're partying, but like you don't need to trash. Why do we got to rope local businesses into your anger?
To me, it's the win. Lose, I understand. You're mad at the world.
No, when you lose, you should go to the city that won and destroy
trash
their
city.
city. That makes sense.
Yeah,
don't
I don't
trash
understand either
Don't
side of
add
that.
insult to injury. The only thing that makes sense to me is if you lose and you feel like the other team cheated, you go and
to
you
their
destroy
city
their
and you
national
destroy their
business.
city.
But I'm saying that's
Don't even do that. But if that's the only one that makes sense, if you win a national championship in, say, football, and then you start trashing local businesses in your town.
But if you lose, because that's more akin to what has happened here. He
If you
lost
lose and then trash your own town.
your own thing. Like, what are you doing?
You're getting
What
out your
are you doing?
frustrations, but you're doing it on yourself.
Don't punish local businesses just for being there. Don't punish the local CompuGuard. Remember CompuGuard? Okay, CompuGuard. If I were to say to you, listen to this. Everybody listening, listen to this. If I were to say to you, there's a store down the street from us, and there was a store down the street from where we
in the year
first
2000
lived
in LA
called CompuGuard. Now, what is the first thing? Think about it. Everyone who's listening and everyone who's watching, what's the first thing you would think about?
I think they would sell
Floppy disks.
and like plastic covers that go over your
Computer.
so if you cough
Drop
or
it.
sneeze or drop it, it protects it.
Screen guards, all that other
Bumpers
stuff.
on the side of a laptop.
And you
so
think
that
it would be spelled COMPUGUARD.
right, CompuGuard.
This-
And they also maybe sell like malware and like
Yeah, malware
and things to-
Norton antivirus before
Yes.
that guy went down into the Caribbean and killed
Kill people,
somebody.
yeah, yeah.
All that
he
stuff.
was just rooting out viruses.
That's it. He was trying to root out human
Yes,
viruses.
yes.
He's like, I gotta get rid. He's got to get rid of every virus and
He was
everything.
just sweeping.
Where's
the
that
beach.
guy now?
Let me sweep the beach.
Has anybody tried to contact?
No, I think that was McAfee.
Has anybody tried to
I don't
contact?
think that was Norton Antivirus.
Has anybody contacted Norton or McAfee right now for this virus?
Someone should.
So that's what I thought it would be. No, it's spelled KOMPUGARD, CompuGuard, and they sold men's clothing that nobody wanted.
Weird men's clothing.
Shiny, sheeny,
Yeah.
button-down shirts that I can't even imagine when you would wear them to your own mob killing. If you thought you were getting made and then you get in the car and someone strangles you with a piano wire, that's what you're wearing in the CompuGuard.
If you are going to a McDonald's to redeem your fraudulent McMillions like Monopoly game
piece, you wear your CompuGuard
shirt. All right, so this guy gets shut out. He starts screaming and yelling, and then his personal choice is, I'm gonna lick a door.
By the way, it's so dumb. He's doing it to himself because whoever touched that with whatever germs they had touched the door, he now has it.
Yeah.
You're destroying your own CompuGuard.
You're bringing the germs into your mouth in a quicker way,
which is worse. Hopefully he has a burning case of chlamydia. All I know is I'm never going to open my bank door with a straight hand ever again.
with a bare hand. No,
I don't think I'm ever going to go to the bank again. I'm going to put all my money on a mattress or just mobile bank the hell out of everything.
I mobile deposit into my mattress.
You
I
mobile
don't even have
deposit
to put my money under my mattress.
You
I do it
mobily-
in another room. I mobily deposit the
in-
cash into my mattress.
That's so smart.
Yep.
All right, guys, we're going to take a break. As we head to the break right now, again, we love to introduce you to other podcasts that we absolutely love that you should be listening to. I just listened for an hour the other day. This is one they recorded before the virus hit of Adam. So Ben Roy, our friends the Grawlix, Ben Roy, Adam Caden-Holland, and Andrew Orvidal, the three of them are just fantastic.
Their
and
podcast
energy-
is so joyous and
the
fantastic.
Grawlix saves the world. GRAW Grawlix. GRAWLIX saves the world. Or save the world? Saves the world. Is fantastic. And they basically give themselves challenges to better their lives.
Right.
Which is interesting in this time period as they're doing it right now. And so one of the challenges they did before the whole Corona thing went down, they recorded a while ago, is that Ben Roy is really into jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
And Adam Caden-Holland, who plays soccer, and Andrew Orvidal, who exercises too, but doesn't really do
does
anything.
like hiking.
Right. Ben taught them both how to do jiu-jitsu in one lesson in one day at his dojo, and then he had them fight each other. It was so funny. how not funny they got as they started fighting. It was it's the description of it. I walked like 5 miles around around the hood, and it was
I love these
so
guys.
enjoyable. So they left a voicemail, and I want you guys to hear it.
The clip that I just listened to online is if Budkowski was a Dungeon and Dragons Dragon Master.
It's genius. You
Why
have
are we
to
going
get
to
on
the tavern? I mean, all their
It's
jokes.
so
it's
funny.
a riff fest. It's great. Listen to their voicemail. And we'll see you on the other side.
Hey, I got the message machine, guys. Hey there, Sklar Bros. This is Ben Roy, one of the hot boys from the Grawlix Saves the World podcast. I got Andrew here with me. Say hi, Andrew.
Hi, Sklars.
And I've got Adam with me, too, as well.
Oh, yeah.
He's been
We're
doing...
trying out some new personas.
Yeah, we are.
He's in this, like, Kool-Aid cosplay phase. It's really weird. But anyway, yeah, we're doing all right. Here in Denver, we're in the Mile High City, although my son did just have his 15th birthday, which he had to have like the bubble boy. He couldn't see any of his friends or interact with anybody other than his mother and his father.
Hell
Every
yeah.
15, that's what every 15-year-old boy wants.
And but at one point, his aunt, his two aunts, and his uncle wanted to give him his gifts and some sweets. So they pulled up in front of our house. They had some cupcakes. Shout out to Cake Crumbs in Park Hill, some great cupcakes. And
Sure.
They pulled up in front of our house. And we emerged from our apartment and descended down the steps and stood at the bottom of our steps. And they stood 8 feet away in the grass just off the sidewalk. And then they put his gifts onto the ground and his sweets, and one by one with a hockey stick slid them up the walkway to us as if
Wow.
yeah, as if this were some sort of armistice agreement. You know what I mean? Like we're at
amazing.
the DMZ or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's actually how the Cold War was settled. Gorbachev and Reagan.
The other miracle on ice. Yeah. There's the miracle on ice and then the other miracle on ice. Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, I think it was Gorbachev sliding some earbuds and a pocket-sized drone across the parking lot, wasn't it?
And then Reagan slid him some Levi's jeans, and they're like Cold War over.
Gently used American butt Levi's jeans. Yeah.
Cold War over.
Pocket faded. You could still see the stamp of Dad's wallet. You know what I mean? But yeah, it was by far, I would say,
That
one
is surreal.
of the weirdest.
That is surreal.
We won't get to experience that. You know what I mean?
No, well-
I don't care about my birthdays. So
Happy birthday, Milo, to
yeah.
Ben's son.
Yeah.
Maybe we return to normaler times soon. But
But otherwise, I think we're all getting by. So far, so everybody's healthy, and we hope you guys at Starburns and at Sklar Bros, your families, you're all doing well. And we'll talk to you soon. Mile High, out! Let it say.
All right, we are back. Want to give a shout out to Detroit, our friends band. They are no longer a functioning band. We love them so much. Did we talk about them? I think we talked about them. We talked about when we went a few episodes ago about when we did the public appearances as those characters for the Minneapolis Star Tribune in Minnesota. And our buddy Jim Weber, who turned us on to Fountains of Wayne, he was managing a band at the time called Detroit, which... You know,
I listened.
Jeff Hamm, Bear, Grant Yule, Jeremy Ilvasacker, and it was just one of my favorite bands of people ever. They were so funny. They did the first time we went to see them at the 400 Bar in Minneapolis, classic legendary bar. Wilco played there. All these bands played
Jayhawks.
there. Jayhawks. We came and watched them. And they did a Rush medley, a medley of Rush songs, 13 Rush songs. And they ended the Rush medley with a song Lay It on the Line by Triumph, because Triumph, like Rush, was a Canadian power trio. That is just, once they did that, we're like, you have us for life.
And they're so funny, and they had and they put on such a fun show. It made me want to find all the footage and all the other bands in the Minneapolis area that are afraid of them and do a documentary about them.
Yeah,
it makes me want to do the show, which I want to pitch this show to Cameron Crowe if we can, about bands that had followings but never were famous, almost famous bands.
Yeah, so
we'll get that in the works.
We'll get it in the works. But this was just fantastic. Detroit was it's just a fantastic band. So all their music is playing throughout, and they've given us permission to use that. So thank you, Detroit. Love you guys. Let's get into this story right here before we head on out. That is that nude sunbathers in the Czech Republic have been warned to cover their mouths when they sunbathe,
and they're going to take offense to that
with masks. Does that now? This is me not knowing. If there are any nudists out there who are listening to this, if you're listening to this while you're nude sunbathing, great, appreciate it. I guess
do the earbuds?
No,
count?
I don't know if they do. But does a mask?
Or maybe you're putting it on your iPhone and just playing it through the speakers, right?
Does a mask encroach upon? Do you know what I'm saying? Does a mask encroach upon your being nude? That's my question. Where does it fit? Is it all about your private parts and showing them?
I think nudity, because
how much of nudity is exhibitionism?
All of it. And I think nudity qualifies as nudity in many ways. Like people with their socks on but naked all the way out are consider themselves nudists
because no one cares about your
hat
feet.
On. People with sunglasses on. I guarantee these people wear sunglasses or something like that, or a hat, because they don't want to get sunburned on their head.
Sure, they're taking care of their body.
Take proper precautions.
Yeah, sure.
But there is, I think the point of a nude beach or the point of a nudist colony is to be uninhibited and free in areas where we are normally expected to be covered.
By the way,
public
I'm totally cool with nudists. I'm 100% like, if that's what you want to do and you're within your community.
If you go to a nudist colony, it's not like you're going on.
It's not like you're going
to the ESPN the body issue. You're not seeing a lot of people in great shape.
What you're seeing is it's like going to certain parts of Havana in Cuba where we've both been, where all if you feel like one brick comes out of the whole building.
To me, nudist colony is like if you at any point walked into a Walmart and said, "Everyone, take your clothes off right now,"
or if you went
then you have a nudist colony. That's it.
Or if you've ever spent an extended period of time in a JCC locker room where just old Jewish men balls hanging on the floor.
I would say balls to the wall, but it's really balls to the floor.
Balls to the floor, just talking about the Talmud,
or just talking about
issues in the synagogue and other stuff.
I can't take you seriously.
Naked for
Jacob Esau affixed hair to his arm and tricked his brother. I can't take you seriously.
Put a goddamn towel on, Rabbi.
Why is this hard for you to do? Why is this hard at all?
So, I wonder how much of it is saying, I can't do that. You're not letting me do this, so I'm going to do this.
So now they're fighting back.
So I'm not going to do this. No. But nudists sunbathe without protective masks in the Czech Republic have been reprimanded by the police and warned that clothes may be optional, but masks are not. So I actually feel like the Czech Republic
is handling this in a very positive
right way. Right? They're doing it. It's filled with checks and balances, CZECH and balances. More than 100 people, including nudists, descended on the Czech spa town of Lázní. I'm going to get this wrong. Bodanek to enjoy the good weather. Now, I looked at the picture of this.
Did the weather not look great?
You'd think it was just a white sandy beach and they're all just kind of hanging out on the beach. No. I saw two cops fully dressed in full sleeves. So it's not as warm as you think it is.
Right.
And they're sitting in chairs on the side of of a road, right by what looks like a lake. And it could be the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power lake.
Yeah.
Weeds coming up everywhere, weeds going into every orifice.
Right.
and they're just sitting there uncomfortably, like the chairs are tilted in a weird way.
Because there's no level ground.
There's no level ground because it's like a sharp decline. And they're still in those old, like stringy fold out. You know, the chairs that fold out really long. They fold up and then they close up. Those are actually really useful.
Are really cool. Yeah,
but like that's. No matter
plastic, like the plastic.
It just looked so uncomfortable. Like I can't believe that. Czech government insisting that face masks be worn at all time in public, which I think is great.
Of course.
Police soon arrived to enforce the rules. Unfortunately, the sunbathing citizens were in one place in large numbers. You shouldn't be doing that.
Just don't be anywhere in large numbers ever.
Why can't you sunbathe in the nude in your backyard? Unless you live in an apartment building.
Because it's part of it is the public
Part of it is
exhibition.
being like, I can do that. Don't tell me what I can and can't wear.
Right. I already am eschewing all conventions.
This is the group of people that it's going to be hardest to get the masks on. I think we can get it on everybody else.
Yes.
Unless we tell them that it's no big deal. You walk around all the time. Everybody walks around with their faces not covered. So who cares about that? We got to make them not care.
No, I think what you have to do to them is tell them that they'll never be allowed to, like, they're going to go to prison and have to keep clothes on.
Yeah, you're going to have to wear clothes for the rest of your life.
You're never going to be able to be naked.
You're going to get, besides, who is enjoying this? You got cattails and long grass sticking in your own cattail.
No.
Who's enjoying this? Who is enjoying that?
They're
Sunday?
trying to make a point. They're not there for enjoyment. They're trying to be like, look at us.
It feels like repurposing an area that they repurposed an area that wasn't for that. Remember that? And then we'll go into the story about our dad because why not? We got to talk about it. But like repurposing an area that wasn't for that for something else. So our dad used to. We talked about this before in our stand-up years ago, but our dad used to take us fishing on Sundays, and we would go out and we'd get the fish, and we'd fish, and he said he owned 1/12 of a lake out in Augusta, Missouri, which means he owned none of it, and we were just trespassing.
Yeah.
And we would go out there and fish, whatever. But on the way home, if there was like a body of water anywhere, he had this extendo pole that was 22 feet long. Big Bertha is what he called it.
Yeah, you would just
rolls
extend
up
it and then twist it outward so it stayed.
And it just was like one of those extended pole type
and it
things.
probably had like about 5 feet of line
on there
the end
and
of
a
it.
hook. You put a worm at the end of it, and he would just take it and
it had a bobber on it, and he would just lay it
drop
in the water,
and then pull out a fish.
and then we get in the car and we leave.
That's right. So fine if you're in the hinterlands of Missouri.
If there's a pond and there are no houses
But
nearby.
he would do it close to our house in like office parks with man-made lakes with sculptures in it and fountains.
Yeah.
Like there was one on Page Road nearby us that had like a white bird fountain in it. And it was like there was a bank there.
They stocked the
pond. He would drive by it. If we got shut out fishing, he knew there was going to be fish in there. He was like taking out.
like, get your pole, or he'd say, get out of the car and don't be loud.
She said, be quiet. Shh, you don't want to wake the fish. And by fish, of course, he meant bank security guard who could come out at any time to like get. We're like, Dad, there's coins in there,
and he's in the back screwing the pole
Big
together,
Bertha,
and then he lays it in the water,
pulled out like a giant koi fish, which we shouldn't even be
like catching. Like this is something that like a man just placed into this lake maybe a day before.
Yeah, and Dad is like going, I got him. I got it. We didn't get shut out today. Look at that.
That big.
I mean, it was.
He repurposed.
That's what these people sunbathing on the side of this lake, which didn't feel like
could have been a corporate office park. It's all about in this time. This is what we're finding out about people in the crisis. If your personal needs, if they supersede your narcissistic needs, your personal needs to be seen and heard and have your issues come through, if you're putting that ahead of the greater good of our world in this moment, then you're being exposed as that person.
That's
now.
right.
It's so clear that this is who you are.
Amen.
And you know what? Like, again, nobody supports alternative lifestyles more than us. We are artists. We have friends of every shape, color, style, sexual orientation, and everything. So,
but everyone we know, the barefoot running, the nude sunbathing out in public doesn't have to happen right now.
Can you wait 4 months?
You can wait until we're done, right?
There are things that we would love to do right now that we're just not doing because you know what? That's the smart thing to do right now.
There will come a time, not to bring this full circle back to the beginning, this is the last thing we'll say. There will come a time when you will be able to sunbathe wherever you want, at corporate office parks. If you want to do it on a beach, which makes more sense to me, but you can do it wherever you want. You just can't shake the person's hand who you are sunbathing with. You're going to have to give them a salute, or at the very best, if you're a Jew,
or lift a boner, or one of these.
Just give them some kind of a salute. All right, guys, that's our show. I hope you have a decent night tonight. Go punch a water faucet, then go wash your hands. Stay socially distanced. Hug your kids. We're recording this today. It's my wife's birthday, Amy Sklar. I want to wish her a happy birthday and thank her for being so great. We love you guys, and we'll see you next week.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
La-ti-da, la-ti-da-ti-da-ti-da, la-ti-da-da-da.